Hey guys, it's Sebastian here. So in this video, I'm going to walk you guys through how I turned $3,794 into $45,098 in 3 weeks dropshipping. It's not like this revenue was from last year, like months ago. This is literally from the past 3 weeks in counting. So counting today, the past 3 weeks, I was able to do this. So what we're going to break down is basically the ads, how I ran the ads, how they were structured, and then some things you have to understand because yes, generating the revenue is good, but if you are a beginner and you need the funds right away, I'm going to explain some issues that you may run into. Now, before we get into this, be sure to smash the like button and click subscribe below because again, I'm posting every single day dropshipping content and trying to provide as much value as I possibly can for you guys. Now that that is out of the way, let's get into my ads. So here's the first week of testing. I had gotten a total of 12 purchases, but if you notice, these are my ad sets. I only got 4 ad sets with purchases. And if you do the math, this totals up to around $120 spent to generate these purchases, which yes, that's amazing. The ROAS was 11.54. Amazing ROAS, but I had tested so many other ad sets. I had spent literally an extra $360 on ad sets that just didn't perform well, which that in itself was unfortunate, but it is necessary when you're running Facebook ads. You can't have every single ad just be a complete banger unless like you're amazing. Even if you're amazing at Facebook ads, you aren't going to have every single ad perform well, which was the case with me. I only had 4 ad sets that generated sales, everything else flopped. So off the bat, that was kind of tough because this was after a week of testing. But if you do look at these ad sets that generated purchases, they're amazing. 6 purchases at a cost per purchase of $7.04 with a ROAS of 66.07, 4 purchases with a ROAS of 32.38. Even these ROASs are nuts, like 29 purchases at 13.10. So like they're really good, but yeah, I didn't have a lot of ad sets that were getting purchases, which kind of sucked because I didn't even know which interests were performing well besides these 2 mainly. Because if you get a purchase, like just one on an ad set, you don't really know exactly how it's going to perform. It isn't until it's spent a lot of money to where you get an understanding like, okay, this is probably going to work long term like it did with these ones, because these are ones I still am running right now and I've duplicated them and created a lot more ad sets with them and they have been performing really well even at a higher spend. The overall ROAS and overall ad spend for this store counting today. So I had spent $3,399.63 and generated around $37,223. Now this didn't track all my purchases. Facebook did not, and I think I know why, but I'm not really positive, so I don't want to give you guys false information, but it said it only tracks 37,000. My actual revenue was $45,098, which is what I mentioned in the beginning. So if you calculate the revenue divided by the ad spend, my total ROAS comes out to 13.28, which is amazing. I'm not complaining about that. It's really good for Facebook ads, especially with cold interest testing. So that's the results. And then here is the overall revenue. So like I mentioned, it had only tracked 37,000, but the overall revenue is 45,379. So apparently I got a sale within the time I typed the first screen out, and then marketing cost was only 3,417. Net profits almost 30 grand. It'll be over 30 grand by the end of the day, but that is amazing and all. And here's the downside. I wouldn't say downside, but here's the thing. A lot of people, if you're getting started with dropshipping, here's what you guys have to understand, because it's not like I generated sales and then money just started going into my account right away. It took some time to actually get the money into my account. So here's the total expenses of the first week of testing. Actually, the first week and 2 days. It was from the 23rd of June to July 2nd. Facebook ads, I had spent $994. Product cost, $1,605. Shipping costs were $920. Ad creatives were $225. Apps, domains, miscellaneous stuff was like $50. So total $3,794. Now that's amazing considering I generated around $10,000. So profit was like $6,200, and that was really good. But here's the issue, and it's not an issue, it's just you guys have to understand this. Payouts do not start for the first week or so. When you start your new Shopify account or Stripe or PayPal, you will not get your first payout for a week and then like a few days after sometimes. So that's the case just because they want to make sure you're legitimate. They want to make sure you're fulfilling orders and taking care of business, and it's completely necessary because a lot of people do scam and stuff. So I'm completely fine with it, but it is something that you guys have to understand. So I spent all this money and I didn't get $1 back until the 2nd of July, which again, I started this on the 23rd of June. So it's not a problem for me because I can fund that, but a lot of people have the issue where like if they don't have any money, they will not be able to spend that amount of money and they will just go under before they even start getting their payouts. So again, here was the revenue for the first week, and the revenue is a little different than Facebook. I'm not sure why it didn't track the exact revenue, but it's not really a big deal. Again, marketing cost was $994, product cost $1605, and then shipping cost was another like $900. Bringing the net, it was around $6,000, which was really good. I'm super hyped for that. But that is a big deal because again, you don't get the money for like a week and a few days. So when you're launching these stores, even if you have a small budget, you want to focus on quality on your website and your overall brand. So you want to make sure your store is set up very professionally. You want to get opinions from friends, family members, pets, like ask your fish, yo bro, what do you think of this site? Are you going to buy something on it if I launch it, or like what's the deal? But seriously, you do need to get opinions of the site. Sometimes I've had sites, I think they're completely badass, and then I show someone and they're like, I don't even know how to use this. So there are things that you need to make sure you're checking in on and just, verifying that actual people can use the site and can function with it and that it looks professional. People are so much more skeptical now more than ever just because everything that's going on in the world. Everyone is questioning a lot of stuff now, which I encourage it. But the thing is, if you're running a dropshipping store and you're launching something where you're just using the debut theme and you have Powered by Shopify on your footer and you don't have much of a description and everything looks kind of sketchy, you're not going to have a good conversion rate and your purchases will be minuscule. You won't get a lot of them, which is what's happening with a lot of people. So understand you do have to just make sure your website instills a lot of trust in your customers and visitors so that they do trust you with their money and they do trust that you're actually going to give them a product. Now I mentioned budget in another video, but I want to go over it again because I want people to know, because I'm still getting a lot of questions of people like, hey Seb, I have $300, can I do Facebook ads? And then when I tell them no, they get upset. So hear me out, okay? I'm not being mean, I'm not being rude, I'm just being honest. So in order to actually make money with dropshipping, you need to have some money saved to give it your all. You don't want to half-ass this. It's not something that you half-ass, because if something works really well, you want to have the funds to scale it and actually operate it properly. So let's go back here. I ran only $994 in ads this first week, and most people are not getting a 10 ROAS their first week of advertising on Facebook ads. It's not how it works. They're getting like a 2 ROAS or a 1.5, which is normal. And if your store took off like mine did, you probably wouldn't have the funding to fulfill all of those orders if it was your first week of the store and if you only had $500, or even if you had $1,500 to actually fund the store. You wouldn't be able to fulfill all of those orders right away because of the fact that you didn't have enough money set aside to make sure you were good no matter what position like the store put you in. So that's why I strongly suggest you have a $2,000 minimum like actual money in your bank accounts, plus a credit card for order fulfillment and stuff like that. And again, I mentioned this in another video, but I still do suggest that $2,000 minimum and then a credit card. Credit cards should only be used for like fulfilling orders, because if you're doing it when you're starting out on ad spend and you don't generate any sales and you barely have any money to actually fund the credit card, then you will go under and have a balance, which you don't want. So only use credit cards to fulfill orders, or once your ads are profitable, you can swap it to your credit card. That's what I do, and then I collect points so that I can travel for free and stuff like that. But when you're first starting out, please do not put everything on your credit card if you don't have any money. Just save up money so you can be in a good position when you start. A lot of people ask me, hey Seb, can I start Facebook ads with less than $1,000 or like $500? The answer that I'm going to give you is no. Hypothetically, you can, but the chances of having success with them, with the Facebook ads, it's very low. Even in my case, yes, if I ran $500 and I generated $5,000, that's amazing. But if you only had $500 and it was your first week, you wouldn't get the payouts for another week, which meant, or for another few days, which meant you wouldn't have the funds to fulfill the order. So either way, you are going to either screw yourself over or your customers. Now, this is a business. You have to value your customers and take care of them, which is why I just say do not start with Facebook ads unless you have a solid budget. When you start a store, you should always create a game plan. So have it be to where you're like, by day X, if I'm profitable, so let's say day 7, I am profitable or break even. If I'm not with these ad sets, I'm going to turn them off and relaunch new ad sets with new interests. I wouldn't say day 7 by that. I would say like day 3. If you're not profitable or break even, try new interests and rinse and repeat. Now, if after 4 weeks the product still is not giving you profitable or break even sales, maybe you move on to another product. But either way, you have to have a system in place to where it's not emotional. It's not like, oh, I know this product is going to work, or like I think it's going to work. It's something where you're just like, oh, nope, this doesn't fit the criteria, let's move on, or oh, this is working well, let's duplicate and do another CBO with a bigger budget, or do ad set budgets, whatever the case may be. I'm going to create an in-depth Facebook ads video in a few days. Understand videos take a lot of time to actually put in and edit and come up with the exact structure of how I want to do the video, so it takes a little bit of time, but this will be something I'm going to do in a few days because a lot of people don't know how to test the product on Facebook properly and then go out and scale it. So I will be doing a video like that in a few days. Now, I know the title of this video said 3,794 into 45K, and I clearly spent more than that, but I did the math and I did all of the numbers. I only had to spend around almost $4,000. It was $3,800 out of my own bank account and my own funds to actually get this store to where it is right now. So yes, I spent a lot more than that. I spent like on just these metrics, 10 grand plus shipping costs, plus custom creatives and stuff like that. So I spent a lot more than that. But what was cool is after I got the revenue from the first week, I started getting very consistent payouts, which meant I had more money to fund the store and give it more ad spend, and then I could just manage it just from my revenue from the store rather than just funding it from my bank account, which is something a lot of you guys that's hopefully good news for you guys, because again, you don't need to have like 10 grand in your bank account to launch Facebook ads. It's just the more you have, the more comfortable you are with actually testing products and running ads and spending money every single day. So launching this dropshipping store with even $4,000 and having it to where the first few weeks you generate $30,000 profit, $5,000 revenue, 30K profit. Now this is not bad at all. The revenue is good. The profits are good. This is something where I'm going to be scaling it to around $10,000 to $20,000 per day in probably the next week or so, as long as my ad spend limit gets increased, because it's still at $250 a day. If you see this yellow line, that is my ad spend. It's been the same every single day. Also, this dip in revenue, I did around like $1,700 or $1,800, which is really low considering I was used to around $4,000 a day. This happened because PayPal got disabled and Facebook ads were optimizing to use Stripe and PayPal. A lot of people, when they spend a lot of money on products, use PayPal, so that was something that sucked, but today I bounced back and I'm already at almost $3,000, which is amazing. But that's essentially how I started this store, with less than $4,000, and now it's profiting me anywhere from like $1,500 to $3,000 every single day on a consistent basis. It isn't like it's 1 or 2 days. As you can see these charts, it's almost every single day where it's a high amount of profit. So I hope you guys got massive value from this video. Just understand, with Facebook ads and testing products and just dropshipping as a whole, like I had mentioned with these ad sets on the first week, I ran a lot of ad sets and only 4 performed well. So it's like, if you're running a product and only 4 perform well, that is not amazing, and that's not amazing for myself. I'm not patting myself on the back for that. Obviously the ROAS was good, but still I had to test a lot, and then I cut a lot off, I turned a lot off, and then retested different interests. And it's just a constant process where you're doing that pretty consistently until you come up with these interests that are able to give you results like this, where you have consistently over a 10 ROAS. Now this is very difficult to do. Don't aim for a 10 ROAS. It's very hard to do. So I wouldn't really suggest aiming for that. I would suggest going for like a 4 ROAS. That's really good. A 5 ROAS is pushing it, because that's very difficult as well, let alone a 13.2 ROAS. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys got massive value. If you did, smash the like button, click subscribe below, because I am posting every single day. And let me know in the comment section below if you guys are enjoying this type of content that I'm doing. Like, I'm doing a lot of slideshows and showing off the revenue and like the ad spend and how I'm doing it. So if you guys again enjoy this type of content, let me know in the comments below. I'm getting a lot more views, which shows me that you guys are enjoying this, and I'm super excited to produce more content. I have a 72-hour challenge that I'm going to be starting, and then I also have a Facebook ads tutorial, and then a few other videos that I'm going to be starting and finishing in the next week or two. So look forward to those videos. But other than that, hope you guys again did get massive value, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.